I have done reviews on the CSL DD and I've done it on the Formula V 2.5X. So now it's time to do a review on this, the Clubsport Porsche 911 GT3 R steering wheel. But now we're going to get into a bit more detail, obviously, because this is a review. So let me just take this apart and we'll go step for step on the different parts. Okay, so now we obviously have to start with this, the Clubsport V2.5 or V2 universal hub, and they also have a podium hub. But what makes this different is that, first of all, this one, but there's a different version which doesn't have this, and that is Xbox support. So if you see up here, you have, what's it called? You have the buttons for Xbox, so you can control it by this. But then you also have this little screen, which if I can take off like that, if you put it like that, then if you have just a steering wheel without a sort of little screen, you can have that, which shows telemetry. But there is some things which the podium hub has better support of, and that's multiple different, what's it called, wheels. So that one, if you, let's say, buy a Cube Controls Formula wheel or a GT3 wheel, you want that because that one is light. I think that one weighs around 800 grams. This one with everything on it weighs about 1.2, 1.3 or something like that. It weighs quite a bit more. But this one is for people who want to have like a stand, sort of, not if they have a rim only. I'm gonna buy extra things. So you can add, it comes with magnetic shifters, which is very nice, much better than what's it called, spring loader ones like on my old Thrustmaster. It comes with the metal quick release, so you aren't restricted to any newton meters of torque on the wheelbase. Then you might see here you have holes where you can have different adapters with the screws. So you can buy like things, so it comes out, so you have buttons you can press and not just these on tops to make your life a bit easier. And also you can also switch out these to the podium shifter pedals, I think they're called, where you have shifter, you have analog, what's it called, if you have here, you have pedals up here for what's it called, mapping, and then you have underneath you can either have a clutch and a handbrake, dual clutch, like in a Formula 1 car. Then you also can have the mappable, but you also have throttle and brake. So if you have injured your legs, or if you don't have legs, you can still use it, which is very nice. And also, you see underneath here, which is new on this one, which comes with, the other ones comes with separate, but if it what's it called, so but like here you have a USB-C connector. It's quite hard to see on camera, but that means that you can connect it to official Fanatec products. But you can also use it for telemetry, or no, that's on the wheelbase, which is a bit odd because they haven't released anything yet. But now let us talk about the Fanatec button box, which is Fanatec Podium Button Module Endurance, says on the rear here. But you can, see that it has quite a lot of buttons, which is obviously good. I have put stickers on it, on some of them, to make it clearer. And you have also the screw holes, and you have the USB-C cable back here for connecting to the universal hub. Also works with the podium hub because there are two different versions. You have the podium version of all of this setup, and you have the Clubsport one, but we'll go more in that later in the video. So you might wonder what you get. So you get a screen. I don't know how big it is, but it's quite a good screen. You can get quite a lot of telemetry on it. It's not like big enough to have a telemetry screen like the ones created by SimLab have with you. Standalone screen, which is quite nice, but shows a lot of telemetry. Then you have, if we think, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 buttons. They have 2 mappable, what's it called, up and down switches, so you can have 2 functions there. Then you have a joystick which you can push in, so that's the mapping, and then you have viewing around. They have a 7-way funky switch, which is this one, so you have up, down, left, right, in, and then you can also twist it, which is actually quite nice when trying to navigate through, what's it called, through menus. But something you might have noticed is also it has 2 rotary encoders, so you can push this to side. Wait, if we press camera zoom, makes it a bit clearer. You can see, yeah, you can move it. So either you can have, what's it called, you can have it mappable just plus or minus, or left, right, or you can have each individual position mappable. I prefer to have it just plus or minus because the game I play, Automobilista 2, doesn't have the functionality for that. But the ACC does, and I used it for that when I was playing that a bit more, which is very good for you to know. But obviously you can't have a steering wheel without a steering wheel rim. That's why I have the, I think it's Podium Porsche 911 RSR wheel rim. So it is, I believe, 310 or 320 millimeters in diameter. So if you don't know, it's from the largest point across, like that line across, and obviously, as you can see, it's not perfectly round. Fanatec have a version where it's perfectly round, but that is not a Porsche wheel rim. It's just a Fanatec eSports rim, I think it's called. I'll take up the price later. And then obviously you have the Porsche badge, where it's you have, if you haven't seen a Porsche car, you have, that's what it looks like. And then it's a bit not so clear, but you have the prancing horse or goat or what it may be, and then it says Stuttgart on top. And you can see here I have the red ring around here. There's also, for the same price on all of them except the Fanatec eSports one, I believe that's only leather, that if it is yellow you get Alacantara, like you have on my Playseat here, but also on my formulary. But I'll go into a bit more into the difference, but I'ma just tell you that the Alcantara you need gloves for, otherwise you'll wreck it. Or if you have leather, you don't wreck it. So I wished I had leather on the other one, but Fanatec are a bit weird with the formula rims, where the one which isn't Xbox functional, no supported, you have leather, but the one which is, you have Alcantara, and on the Porsche special rear rim you also have Alcantara, but Alcantara gives more grip on gloves, so this one I like more because it's just pick up or play. But now let me just put everything together and let me show you how it looks driving it in the actual car. Okay, so now we are in the pits at the next stop for the Formula 1 race in Interlagos, and as you can see here, it's sort of the same. And I should probably look where I am going before showing you things. But let's get out of the pits here. As you can see, I feel like I have quite good control over the car in these conditions with this wheel too. Something else which I forgot to take up with this wheel was that the bottom module has LEDs to show you when you're using, what's it called, ABS, traction control when you have wheels spinning, and so those things. To check if certain buttons work, you can see my, I forgot to snap them, but I'm just going to tell you it works. Having a little issue with the button mapping, but that's due to me using the RC build of Automobilista 2. But otherwise, yeah, I have quite a lot of control of the car here. I don't feel like this steering wheel is too big or too small, because I have good control. I steer quite well. I feel the bumps, I feel everything. And yeah, I know certain people like driving these type of cars using a formula wheel, but I've tried to do that. I sort of understand, but I like going realistic, so I like having the amount of turning angle like the game has and like the actual car has, and not like have it a bit less or a bit more. I feel like that's maybe enough of what we've seen here, my driving skills using the car, but how does it fare up going rallying? So now we are in the game and we are driving obviously the Swedish rally.
Into left 4, short, very narrow, keep middle.
My settings were a bit wrong.
And right
now
6,
it works.
Short, into left 4, keep in.
As you can see, just forget about the screen tearing if you see some.
Right 3,
but
keep into left 2,
this wheel, even though it's not the roundest, you still have quite good control of the car, I would say.
Square right widens into square left 50.
But yeah, this wheel is good for rally. You have quite a lot of buttons, which might be a little bit of a problem, but you don't fully use the buttons. But if you want to fully utilize the buttons on a PC,
into left 4 and
you
right 4, 30.
can wait for when the Fanatec Puma wheel comes, which is in collaboration with Ford.
And flat right, don't
But
cut,
that
80.
doesn't look like it'll arrive anytime
Caution,
soon.
square left 100.
So see, I could get out of that ditch quite well.
Flat right and flat left. Into flat right.
But you have good control even though it's leather, and you might not, what's it called, have the world's best grip. At least I don't have to wear, what's it called, gloves.
Crest, keep middle.
But
flat right, into flat
this
left,
is like a
300.
good wheel if you just want to pick up and play and don't want to do a lot of hassle, because you have all of the buttons, so you don't have to like have different configurations, I would say.
Oh.
But yeah, let's get to my conclusion. So obviously a very important thing which you have to know is the price. So here you have the one which you get basically everything. You have what mine has. You have the button box. You get the Fanatec, what's it called, Podium Advanced Paddle module, which you can see there. You get the Alacantara wheel rim with yellow, as I've said before. You can get, but also you get the, what's it called, the podium hub. So you have that version, and you can see it's only for PC and PlayStation, these two. Then you have the GT World Championship Esports series, where you just have the wheel. Then you have the versions I have, which are available with Xbox. So there's €100 difference, but I would recommend if you're on PlayStation or PC and you don't want to spend, if you can spend extra €100 and also you want a bit more functionality and you don't have any extra wheel rims, or even if you do, you can connect it. I would recommend that. But would I recommend this wheel? And I would say yes. I feel like it's very good for its maybe mid range price, I should say. But also if you have like other rims, you can just put it on a different here, and if you have a different bottom modules, you can do it yourself too. And I feel like, yeah, this is very good. And I bought this for Xbox functionality, which is I would say this is like the best wheel rim round sort of wheel rim for Xbox. But if you are on PC and you're more interested, I would say spend the cash on the €100 more, because you get something worth a lot more, in my opinion. But I would still recommend this. And even though you might get into the Fanatec ecosystem, which is a good thing, if you want to buy a new rim which isn't a Formula rim, you'll either have to buy a rim, or if you want the whole pack, you need to wait a bit more or splash the cash on the BMW one, which costs €1,500, which is a lot of money. But I feel like that's good. So that was my review. My next video will obviously be a Reddit react on the Brazilian Grand Prix around Interlagos, as you saw I was driving. But also the video after that will be my last Reddit react for 2022, where I'll be going through Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and after that I will do some videos speaking about the season as a whole. I will also recheck on my prediction I did about how the grid would end up. And yeah, I'll do sort of those type of videos. But then I'll obviously have to experiment, because it's a long way away until February, where we will have pre-season testing, but also other things. We don't know what will happen. We'll see. But until then, I've been Racing Legend. You've been my amazing vest. Thank you for watching. Good. Bye.